Oh, don't fall for that cheaper plan thing. Now, unless you just can't afford it, okay? Because health insurance can be expensive. It can be expensive. And so a lot of you will try to say, well, I just want the cheapest. I want the cheapest one, the one that costs the less. Mm-mm. Okay, let me tell you what happens with that. Okay. Normally, if you get the cheapest plan, the only thing that you're not going to have to pay for as far as services is your annual checkup. That will be covered 100% for the most part because of ACA, the Affordable Care Act. Okay, but everything else you may have to pay out of pocket until you meet your deductible. You may have a really high deductible. Okay, and so if it requires you to pay everything out of pocket and you have a bad year, then you might as well have gotten a better plan and paid more, a little bit more maybe, because what you have to pay out of pocket may exceed what you would have had to pay monthly. Okay, and so those are some of the things you have to look at. Just because it's a lower cost plan doesn't mean it's going to benefit you on the back end when you're sick. Okay, so a lot of people only look at the monthly premium, the monthly amount that they have to pay, and they don't look at how it's going to affect them when they're sick. Okay, so when you're sick, it's important, to know, hey, what do I have to pay out of pocket when I get sick? Okay, because your well visit is covered. Okay, your well visit is covered. That's called preventative visit. But sick visits are when you have to start paying. Now, depending on what type of plan you have, either you're only going to pay a copay, that set amount, co-insurance. But if you have the lowest tier plan or the lowest cost plan, you may have to meet the deductible first. Okay, that means you're gonna have to pay whatever that doctor bill costs or hospital bill costs. You're gonna have to pay out of your pocket until the deductible is met. And some people are in for the shock of their lives. I've had some clients that had a bad year and they call me back and say, hey, I need to upgrade my plan because it's ridiculous how much I had to pay out of pocket for all these visits I had. Now, you may not be sick. So, hey, say you're fairly healthy, okay? And you really don't go to the doctor only once per year just to get your annual checkup, okay? And you're not taking any prescription medications or anything, so you have a good year. It's okay to have a plan that costs a little bit, okay? Costs less out of less monthly. And so if you're not sick, then no problem, because the only thing you got to do is go to your annual checkup. And I definitely recommend going to your annual. Go and get a physical every year, and then you're paying your monthly premium. So if you're not sick, you don't have to worry about it. You're okay with getting a plan with that low monthly amount. But if you start having issues, don't be surprised if you have to pay for those out of pocket until you meet deductible. Don't be surprised if you have a high deductible. Your deductible could be 3,000 or 6,000 or 5,000, and that means you're gonna be paying for your visits, your sick visits, until you meet that deductible. Once you meet that deductible, then you look at your plan and say, okay, I met my deductible. What happens now? Oh, well, I only have copay now, or I only have co-insurance now. And so that's how that works. But you don't just always choose a plan based on the price. Okay. You got to look at the back end of that plan and see how it works when you get sick. Now, if, like I said, if you're not really sick, don't worry about it. I mean, just pay that amount monthly and then get your annual checkup, and you should be okay. But when you start going to the doctor because something is wrong or you have to have x-rays and all that stuff, then look at paying some money out of pocket. Like, you're going to be paying for those things. You're going to be getting those bills, and you're going to have to pay until you meet the deductible. And some deductibles can be 3,000 or 5,000, 4,000. It could be whatever. And then but here's the thing, like I said, when you meet your deductible, that reduces your max out of pocket. But if you're not sick enough, you may not meet that max out of pocket. Okay, and so it's definitely worth taking a look on the back end and not just always looking at the price. Okay, because the cheapest plan is not always the plan that you may need. It may not. It may be cheap up front, but when you start getting sick and not feeling well, it's not going to be cheap on the back end when you have to pay because something has happened to you. Okay. And so, if you, I have people, oh, they call me and say, hey, I just need the cheapest plan. Me, I like going over plans. I don't just throw somebody in the cheapest plan. I'm going to tell you how it's going to work. And some of my clients are like, you ain't got to tell me that. Just give me the plan. Okay. And then now, because I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna call me back and say, "Oh, you put me in this plan, and you didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me that." And some of you don't need to choose health insurance when you're in a hurry. Okay. Some people call me on their break. 15 minutes. Oh well, I just need a plan. Can you just go over 3 or 4 plans for me? And I'm like, how long do you have on this call? Oh yeah, I'm just on my break. Mm-mm. No, can we schedule a call back because I don't like just throwing people in plans. Now I can send you the quotes and then we can go over them at another time. But if you are busy, first of all, you're not going to be paying attention. You're not going to be listening to everything I'm saying, and then you may tell an untruth and say I didn't say something. Okay, and then you'll be disappointed. And so health insurance is not something that you do in 15 minutes. Okay, you sign up in 15 minutes. It's going to take longer than that because I am going to go over how this plan works. And if you want to compare 3 or 4 plans, we're going to compare all of them, but we're not going to do that in 15 minutes. Okay. And then the other thing, we'll have to choose your provider. See what if your providers are taking that plan, if your medications are in that plan. So it's not going to be a short call. So if you don't have time, then you need to schedule another time for us to talk. Okay, because I like to go over things so that you can understand. Now, if you have a good understanding, I can just send you over the quotes, let you look at the plans and compare them. And then, or you can just go through these videos so that you'll know what all these things mean. And then, yeah, we can, if you say, hey, I understand the plans. I looked at your videos. I understand the plans. Then we are good to go. We're good to go. So like, share, comment, subscribe for notifications. If you know somebody that's also having trouble understanding health insurance, send them to this channel so that they can, watch a few short videos and they will be fully educated for the most part in plain English. They'll have health insurance explained in plain English. So go ahead, like, subscribe, share. And if you want a free checklist, just comment free checklist for choosing health insurance and I will get that out to you. Okay? All right. Have a good rest of your week or day.